So ladies and gentlemen, I can't think of anybody more appropriate for racism to honor this evening, for a historic change maker who challenged racism and promoted civility than New York City's own, the Honorable David N. Dinkins.
Sorry, my bride's not here. I think she'd be impressed. I'll go home and I'll try to describe this evening, and I cannot do it justice. I thank you so much. We old people are grateful, really grateful. So many friends in the audience. I want to acknowledge that, Mr. Controller, you will understand if I simply say, as my friends in the government of South Africa so often say, usual protocols observed. That means all your important people have been acknowledged. I truly am delighted to be here. I really, really am. See, all you got to do is get old, and then people say nice things about you. And, oh, really? And I know I don't deserve more, but that doesn't mean that I don't appreciate it. So please keep on saying nice things. I had anticipated my friend Dr. Butts, Calvin Butts, being here tonight. So those of you, he's on this board. So those of you, when you see him, you tell him I called his name. But he's beg pardon? But he's a good guy, and I'm really grateful for his friendship. I congratulate the other honorees this evening. They truly are worthy of your accolades, and they just let me kind of come along with the program. And Commissioner Roberts, want you to tell the governor that I send my regards, not so much to him, but to his mommy. I think Matilda is absolutely outstanding. I saw the two of them recently at some event, and he started kidding me, said, there you go again. But Matilda Cuomo is really a remarkable, wonderful, wonderful person. I am very pleased to receive this award. As I said a moment ago, all you got to do is get old and people give you lifetime achievement awards and things like that. They always have titles like that that go with it. And of course, I understand that I am of advanced years. My bride and I, we have a little boy and a little girl. Little boy is 63. Call him Daddy's little fella. And I always tell him, I say, you know, I like you better than your sister. And then I tell her, you know, I like you better than your brother. But they are just, I tell our son, I said, you know, your mother makes good children. He says, Dad, you're half right. He never says which half is the good half. But I really feel quite privileged to have attained, I'll be 91 in July. So I've got a lot of years, but God has been good. God has been good to me. I've got no complaints. And, you know, I can't help but think. I have some remarks that I'm supposed to read, and Linda Hamilton, who's with me, will forgive me if she worked long and hard putting this together. But I will not read these. Linda, you will forgive me. But I just got to tell you, when you talk about racism, every year at Dr. King's birthday, people ask folks like me who have been in government or in government now, and they ask us, you know, do you think things are, how do you think we're doing? And I always remind them that I can remember in the 50s when we were told, you know, you Negroes, that's what they called us then, you Negroes shouldn't be so pushy. They only lynched 5 last year. Yeah, it was really that kind of bad. And I remember those days. And so when they asked me today, in February, Black History Month, and they asked about, what do you think? I said, well, and I remind them of some of those things that transpired back when. I was in the United States Marine Corps and had to fight to get in. The war was still going on, to go put my life on the line for our country, and I had to beg to be permitted to join the Marine Corps. And I did get in, and I'm very proud that I'm a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. But it's just sort of sad in a way when you think that of what yesterday was like. And so when they ask me in February, I tell them, well, things are not what they need to be, but thank God they're not what they used to be. Because things really were bad back in those days. They were terrible. But things are better today. And I like to remind audiences that most people are good people. We hear about the bad ones, but too seldom do we hear about the good people. Folks who are doing wonderful things and who care about others, and especially our children. Because, I mean, that's where it is, you know, the kids. Our little boy and our little girl, I just, well, he knows that's what I call him, the daddy little fella. And he's a great big guy, and he loves his mommy. He likes his daddy a little bit, too. At any rate, I am so pleased to be acknowledged for my meager efforts, which really belong to all the wonderful folks who over the years have worked with me. And things that we were able to achieve are because of the folks with whom I worked. And so I never, ever want to claim full credit because I don't deserve it. It's the people with whom I worked, and they were just terrific. Women and men, young and old, who were just, by God, they were good. And so I thank you so much for this acknowledgement. I'll try to describe for my bride, and she might be a little bit impressed, but it won't be like she was here. Thanks very much.